Hello, all you people out there. No, sorry, guys. It's early. It's 6 in the morning, and I was going through an email of a question that was asked of me um, based on Joe Rogan. The question is about Joe Rogan. Is Joe Rogan a reliable source for information? Question mark. Well, let's see here. Let's see what else he says. He's very popular. He's been doing his podcast for over a decade. That's true, over 10 years. Um, I think his podcast is the number one podcast, I believe, on YouTube. Well, was. Now he's on Spotify. Rogan. Is he reliable? The information he gives a lot of takes on theories. I was just reading the email. A lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of truth behind some of his theories. Okay, to answer the question, I've watched a lot of Joe Rogan over the years on YouTube. I haven't really been able to watch him on Spotify because I don't use Spotify, but I've watched clips of him on YouTube since he joined Spotify on various different topics, takes that he has, different conspiracy theories. He's had a lot of different takes, the moon landing and other theories, flat earthers. He's discussed pretty much every major mainstream conspiracy theory and other, wild theories that you can think of. Joe Rogan. I would say in the beginning, so probably 10 years ago, Joe Rogan was definitely more, I want to use the word reliable, but I use that word loosely. I'm not like just throwing it around, but I think he was more open-minded. Joe Rogan, probably about 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. But since he's become so big, he's like I said, I believe the biggest podcaster on YouTube. I think him and Good Mythical Morning are right up there near the top. I think though now he's more, since he's mainstream now and he's become so large, and Spotify now is paying him so much money. What is it like? Hundreds of millions of dollars are paying the dude? I think he's more censored now. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think Joe Rogan is, I don't think he's a shill, meaning someone that spreads misinformation. But he could be, but I don't believe he's a shill. I think he's just getting paid so much money. And, he's so large now, and he has so many eyes on him, watching him and, taking in all his information and dissecting everything he does. I think he's not able to be as reliable and as trustworthy as he used to be, because he tries to stay away from different topics when he has a guest on his podcast and they talk about something that might be kind of borderline controversial in regards to like theories, conspiracy theories. He usually tries to like change topics because you could tell he doesn't want to get too deep in certain discussions. I don't think he's a bad person at all. I think Joe Rogan is actually one of the few people, in entertainment, that is a real person. I don't think he's a fake paid person to deceive people or give false hopes to people or false information. This is the same guy that was against the vaccine, and he was against other things as well. So that proves he can be very, let's say, controversial and human. He's very human. He's not, a robot or a fake, actor. But I do think, though, that because of all the censorship and him being heavily censored and monitored, people watch him closely. I think he's very careful with what he says. So don't take everything that he talks about as factual or 100% truth, because, he's not going to always dive right in and give all the information. Even if he has the information, I don't think he's ever going to dive completely in and give people all kinds of juicy, information that they're looking for. Again, I'm not bashing Joe Rogan. I have a much, much better opinion of Joe Rogan and view of Joe Rogan than I do Alex Jones, for example. I already did a video on Alex Jones. I think it was last week. And I was basically bashing the dude because he's fake. But, that's for another day, that you guys can watch that stream. I'm not going to discuss Alex Jones anymore. But Joe Rogan I think he's a good person. I think he's smart, though. I don't think he's stupid. I think he understands that he has to limit the things that he says when they get too far off the deep end, because he knows that the mainstream media, MSM, they're all going to pounce on top of him whenever he does something wrong. I mean, you guys have already seen that before. Times when they would tear Joe Rogan apart whenever he would say something that maybe he shouldn't say. So, yeah, I mean, I know it sounds like a simple, yes or no, but my answer is yes to your email. I would say yes. I would say he's, yes, as in he is reliable to a degree, but not 100%. So, I wouldn't say that he's like somebody that you could just look to for everything, all answers, and he's your guy. I wouldn't say he's that guy. I would say, yes, he's a reliable person, but I would say, no, he's not somebody that you should like go to for everything. If you're looking for different solutions to figure out different things, whether it be scientific questions, things like that he doesn't have the answer to, or conspiracy type theories, like the moon landing, flat earthers. I wouldn't take his information as factual, but I would say, yes, he's a good person. He's a good, reliable person. I know when he first started his YouTube channel over a decade ago, you could tell he really was fascinated with diving into deep, deep, deep theories and trying to uncover different truths. I think part of that guy is still here. I think the original Joe Rogan still exists, but he's just so heavily censored now that you can't look to him for everything. You can't expect him to sit down and talk about every single topic that you want him to talk about, because he's getting paid, like I said, what is it, like $100-200 million by Spotify? Trust me, even though Joe Rogan, I think, has an open mind, he's not going to jeopardize that bank account of his to talk about a moon landing and say, no, the moon landing's fake, 100% fake, or talk about whatever theory, he's not going to do something to jeopardize his livelihood, his income, and his family. He has a family. I believe he's got children. I believe he's married. So yes, he's reliable to a degree, but if you're asking me, because I don't understand the question, if you're asking me if he's reliable for like all your theories, because I know you had mentioned in the email, that you're interested in different truth topics related to, like, is our government lying? Is NASA real? Things like that. I would say if that's what you're looking for, no. Joe Rogan's not the guy for that. Joe Rogan's not going to stand up and sit here and trash the U.S. government or NASA. He may question some of the things that they do, but he's not going to just outright trash them and say, hey, they're fake, they're full of BS. So I would say the answer to your question is a yes and no. Yes, Joe Rogan's a reliable person for a lot of information. He gives great advice on tips for health-related questions. He's a fitness guy. He also gives great advice on fighting. If you're into martial arts, MMA, fighting, he gives great information on that. He's reliable there. But if you're expecting him to give like reliable information on some of these crazy theories that nobody can answer. Flat Earth theories, theories like the JFK assassination, which he's talked about before, things like that. If you're expecting him to give you like straight up raw, uncut opinions on those topics, no, you're not going to get that from him. I'm sure he has a belief one way or the other in some of these theories. Like, I'm sure he has his own opinion on JFK assassination or the moon landing or flat Earth people or aliens. I'm sure he has opinions on that, but he's not going to probably give 110% of that information out to people, because he doesn't want people to attack him in any way, any shape or form. So Joe Rogan's going to always probably from here on out play things safe and conservative. And I would do the same thing. If I was getting paid $200 million, whatever it is, by these big, sponsors and Spotify and back in the day, YouTube, if I was him, I would probably keep my mouth shut too, if I was bringing in that kind of money. So I hope I answered the question as best as I could. I wasn't sure what you meant exactly by, is Joe Rogan a reliable source for information? I know a lot of people look at Joe Rogan as a guy that at least originally used to try uncovering different conspiracy theories and proving them right or sometimes wrong. But so I tried answering your question in two different ways, two parts. The one, I say he is reliable for various different information, such as health. He's great for health advice because of his fitness background and fighting background. If you're interested in fighting information, yes, he's the guy. But if you're looking for him to be Joe Rogan, the conspiracy theory guy, I would say no. He makes too much money to be going up against the government. His podcast would probably get yanked and pulled, and he would probably lose his job if he started like going off on rants and raves about how, I don't think JFK was just killed by a random guy, or I don't think the moon landing ever happened. If he started doing that every podcast, he would probably lose his podcast, like overnight. Like, it would probably be one of those quick things where they pulled the plug on him. So yeah, he's got to be very careful with what he says. So I hope I answered your question. It was a great question. Like I said, I didn't fully understand the question, so I covered both bases so that you would get your answer. Guys, I know I said this before many times, but please continue to like my content. Leave comments down below in the comment section. For questions, you could leave comments asking me questions in the comment section, or email me in the about section. I got my email listed. If you want me to also cover various different topics like this topic, you can either shoot me an email or ask me the question in the comment section, and I could go over your topic or question. So yeah, I appreciate the support, guys. Again, I don't ask for money, donations. I don't ask for any of that stuff. So I just appreciate the support, the views and people watching my content and giving me feedback. Good feedback and negative feedback, both is fine. So you guys have a great rest of your Sunday morning. I'm probably going to be doing a few more streams. I'll see if there's any more information out there, any more questions that I need to go over. So you guys have a great day and take care. Peace out, guys.